Hey guys, how are you? It is Rachel Feldman. I'm the proud owner of Rachel's Wellness and also the creator of the Done For You programs for health coaches who desire profitable and sustainable businesses. Let me just, even before we get into tonight, just totally an extension of last night. If you weren't here last night and you're new tonight, I talked to so many coaches who have massive amount of knowledge, passion, information in their brains. That's not what they're lacking. What they're lacking is a system, and it's also what to do after they get out of school. It's knowing exactly what to deliver to their clients so they don't feel completely overwhelmed. Most of the people that I know who are coaches are women, not excluding you guys out there. But that means that we are balancing it all, wearing Superwoman cape, which means that we are moms, we're running a business. Most coaches that I know, they have a full-time job or a part-time job, or they're doing this and they're not getting paid enough. I was listening to Marie Forleo, and she was like, if you're not getting paid for doing what you do, then that is called a hobby. And nobody wants to have this be a hobby, because if you're like me and you're so sick and tired of seeing TV commercials with immune suppressing whatever, that's why. That is our why. If we don't know our why, I always say, just turn on the TV for a second and see how confused the industry is about what to eat, or see how much of a driven culture we live in, where we have commercials left and right that tell us, take this, do this. So as coaches, we are here to empower and educate. That's the bottom line. I say that to my kids. I say, I birthed you. You chose me because you are going to be a change maker. You already are. Your job is to know that McDonald's does not have real food. My daughter, actually, Sammy, was like, it doesn't have real food? I was like, no, it doesn't. And so even as coaches, people are so confused by just going to the supermarket. When I've had friends come in from other places in the world, they're like, wow, I even get confused in your shopping market. There are 40 cereal boxes promising something. So our job, like I said, is to get out there and help debunk the confusion. If you're just joining here and you do not know who I am, this is me. Actually, this would be 12th and 13th. So if you hear me tapping and writing, it's only because I'm taking notes. My name is Rachel Feldman. I am a business coach. I'm a health coach. I created and have a very, profitable health coaching business. I turned more of my focus into helping other coaches create profitable businesses. It's not that I don't want to coach. It's not that that it's not a huge part of my life. It's just I felt after so many years of coaching that this mission to really reach the masses and change the world can't just come from me coaching one person. It needs to come from me empowering other coaches who feel stuck in their business. And so the more that I can write awesome kick-ass done-for-you programs, which really are just your foundation, and that's what I'm going to even talk about tonight, and as well as answer any questions that you have about done-for-you programs, about your business, about list building, about, do you need a sales page or a website? How do you brand yourself? All things that, I learned the hard way, and it doesn't have to be so hard. I came out of school and I had no idea that it would be as difficult. I had built a commercial real estate business. And back then, the internet was not what it is now. So you marketed by calling people, you marketed by putting good proposals together. There wasn't this mass amount of traffic and noise on Facebook, Pinterest, Instagram, Periscope, Snapchat. I mean, these things did not exist. I think MySpace and Facebook were really the only game in town. And I decided back then when I graduated from school, MySpace, I was probably too old for that. But long story short, is that, and I'll just preface this by saying, because if you saw the replay last night, I don't need to go into the whole long story. But the bottom line is this. I graduated from school. I had found out probably about 5 months earlier than that we had lost our savings in the stock market. We made a decision to move from Philadelphia to Florida because we wanted a change in lifestyle. It was a very difficult time for me. I went into a pretty severe depression, leaving a support system that was so vital to my mental health, my physical health, and also just a support system of friends and a place that I grew up and I loved. But we knew that we wanted to bring our children up in a very sunny area where people were pretty happy all year round. And so long story short is that the month that I was invited to go to graduation in New York City, we had already left Philly. I had moved to Florida in August and knew nobody. I knew nobody. I thought that building this business was going to be easy and that just everyone was going to hire me for $150 an hour. And that was not the case. I always say, last night I even showed this, like this was our house in Philly. We sold that baby. Luckily, we sold that. We were able to get a mortgage. We were able to buy another home. This is so funny. This is actually my son, Max, my first baby he used to do these push-ups all the time. But these are my kids. They were babies. So I say this because I started this business literally with babies on the floor. Even when we moved to Florida, Sammy was not, in school. I mean, she wasn't even 2. So she couldn't even go to Montessori school. And that is, look how fat and cute she was. Can't even stand it. You'll see, you can't even see Max's little face. But before we even get to the questions, that first year was brutal for me. I made $13,000. My husband's business did not recover, still has not recovered to this day. And so year 1 was tough. Luckily, we had savings. Year 2, 27, doing a little better. But I was exhausted. I was doing very extensive session notes. I felt like tons of people are coming to me with a myriad of health problems. And I thought I need to get systemized. And I'm not so much of a systemized person. I've learned over time, Google Drive, Trello, base work, teamwork, how to be organized. In real estate, there were so many great organizational systems. It was unbelievable. But it doesn't seem to be that case so much in the health and wellness industry. Not sure why. I should create that. But long story short is that really what was in deprivation of my business was that I didn't have a system. I didn't have a clear system. I didn't have a clear sales funnel. I had an opt-in freebie that was a video, which is why my business did grow. Way before videos were even popular, I knew that I had to do videos because I had a fear of public speaking. And there was no way that I was going to get over this fear of public speaking and do live events and build a list and reach the masses, which for me is very clear on my why. As I was also listening to Marie Forleo this morning, she said, be really clear on your why. So even right now, I want you to think, like, what do you want for your business? Does it need to be online? Do you want offline and online? I knew back then with 2 kids who were young, I was not going to be going to networking events at night. I was not going to be doing events, on the weekend. They were young. I needed to learn how to create active and passive income. Bottom line. And I knew that from the get-go. I knew I didn't want to align with a company necessarily to sell products and different stuff like that. So I knew that I needed to make passive income in a program. I wanted to be able to sit in bed at night and somebody from another part of the world download a program and them be able to do it. The second part of that is that I had a lot of people who were calling me who were really in bad shape and couldn't afford me one-on-one. I also realized in my business that there were people that I considered groupies. These are the people that just love to do groups. They're like, oh my God, here's a challenge. Here's a boot camp. I want to be in a group. And so I realized early on, we as humans crave community in different ways. There are certain people that love that energy to be in a group, love that energy to be in a mastermind, and then love one-on-one. For me, my one-on-one business was so important, still is today. I love that connection. I love when I can meet people face to face. I love, if I don't, I Skype. So happy that, I'm able to do that because we connect and we have that synergy. So I knew that was a vital part for me to still have that, but be worldwide. So I knew that early in the game. I knew also that I was exhausted. I was seeing clients who were coming to my home. It was feeling crazy, even though I had liability insurance. I had, all of this protection. I needed a system for myself because I was pulling down recipes. And at the time, Alana's Pantry was really the only one that had like simple 5 ingredient kind of recipes, which I adore her still to this day. But I was pulling recipes down from that. I was sending them to my clients. I wanted something for myself to brand. It's the whole thing. Why are we here? Visibility, authority, branding, and raving fans and clients so that they come back to you, they refer you, you see them, you see their family, you see, you end up, even if your niche is maybe one specific, you're seeing all of these different people because they fall in love with you. And that was the case. And that's what happened in year 2 3/4. That was actually when I birthed the first Done For You program, which was a system that I got healthy from. It was eliminating certain foods. It was a very simple, safe and effective, detox that somebody had worked with me on, and then being so inspired by Liz Lipsky and Paul Pitchford and Alejandro Younger and Kim Schneider and people who I have the utmost respect for, Mark Hyman. I realized, it just comes down to knowing what foods are right for you. There's not this one, I don't prescribe to any one dogma. Like if you're vegan, if you're vegetarian, if you're all raw, that's totally cool. Coming from my body and my life, I found I've changed over the years. I've been macrobiotic, I've been vegan, I've been vegetarian, I've been all raw. Now I just do kind of what does my body need. Sometimes I'm all raw, sometimes I'm, cooked food, but typically I juice a good portion of the day, eat a very big bar of raw cacao chocolate, which if anybody knows me, that is what I'm doing between 12 to 12:30. I am enjoying the shit out of my life with chocolate. And so you have to find that balance for you and know your system. And then that's what I realized I needed also for my clients. It wasn't just about this one initial program. I needed varied programs. And that was how the birth of the other Done For You programs came. And boom, when I launched that first program, in that semester, I call it, not only did I sell a lot of Done For You programs, but sell a lot of programs to my clients, but they all turned into one-on-one clients. So they got into a closed forum. I built that trust with them. I over-delivered, which has always been something that I just personality-wise do, because when I worked with somebody and I felt scared and I felt alone with my health issues, with my autoimmune Lyme and everything, I wanted somebody to just be there for me. And so I really modeled my business after a few women who were really there for me in a 24/7 kind of capacity. And I owe so much to them. So what happened is I put a plan together. And once I really got clear on that system and that plan, it's almost like get clear on the plan, prioritize it, know what dates you're going to launch, even a health history day or a launch party for your business or anything. And you know what? Build it and they will come. It's like that movie Field of Dreams. And that is exactly what happened. Not only did I build it, but I stopped recreating the wheel. And that's when I started seeing not only passive income. I remember seeing the first PayPal that hit, and I was like, oh my God, I just made like $67 that just came in. I mean, and I was like selling them cheap, but I was like, wow. And people who were contacting me one-on-one who couldn't afford to work with me one-on-one, I was saying, you know what, here's this simple program and you can get started and we can get rocking and rolling. So let's just go down to the questions and get started on this party. So if you weren't here last night, these were actually some of the questions that we went over, but I'm just going to go right down and get started on other questions. So we'll do live Q&A, March 13th. Can you believe it's March? My birthday. I'm going to turn 41 in like 2 weeks. Hell yeah. All right. So let's cover the questions. And again, if I don't answer them properly, please, by all means, just tag it back. The other thing, even at the beginning right now, if you are on Facebook, you can go to Rachel's Wellness. I am giving away a Kindle Fire tablet. Hell yeah. You can go to Rachel's Wellness. There is a pinned post at Rachel's Wellness. A few things you have to do. You have to like the page, share. I've seen actually a few coaches share it, not just on my page, but I've seen them share it in a few different forums. So thank you for doing that. I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me, especially in a world where we feel like there's so much competition between each other. Or just like so many different people who don't support each other. That's something that I'm so important to me. As you see, like I give shout outs a lot to the people who I have mad respect for. And I think that, it's important to do that. But you can go to Rachel's Wellness, like the page, share the pinned post, or share one of the testimonials. But the pin post is awesome. Then comment under why you want to have this, Kindle Fire tablet. Why is it going to change your business? Why is it so important for you? And trust me, if anyone knows from when I gave the Rockstar away the other day, like it takes me the whole day just to read them because they're so profound. So if you want to do that now, you can share it even on Google+. You can share it on Twitter, whatever you want to do. Trust me, I see all the shares and I see the comments and I will read them. So let's just hop into this right now and get rocking and rolling. Before we do that, let's all just say this: massive abundance for a kick-ass season and also setting us up for success for a year, because it's not just being a one-hit wonder. You want to have that consistency, sustainability, profits. You want to also charge your worth. And that comes when you have a system and then you gain confidence, bottom line. I used to not clearly understand that myself. And what I've seen over the years, being able to, have that consistency has brought me to where I am today. So Jen is saying, and hey, Jen, I'm so happy you're here. How did you convert? How did I set conversations? So that's a good one. Number one that I would say is, this is why I did the whole kickoff launch on videos. I think that it's so important to communicate to your niche. And what I talked about the other day is often our niche comes out of our own very story. Now, you may have a story that has like mine, like, had allergies, had hormonal issues, was told that you were never going to get pregnant, like, thought you had a pituitary tumor. Like you may have like a story that's like, whoa, those are a lot of different things that happen. Or you may have nothing. Maybe what brought you to your school and to further your education in the field of health and wellness is different. Maybe somebody in your family got sick. But that's still your story. And so when you think about your niche, you really want to think specifically about what are people's pain points. So what really worked for me is in the beginning, I got clear on like, what were my pain points? What were my wake up problems? What was I dealing with? And so I made that very clear in the blogs that I did, videos I did from day one. I really encourage you to do that. And converting when I had health histories, and this is what I always talk about with the healthy hustle, like your healthy hustle is knowing how much money you need to make. How many people do you need to have in an online program? How many people do you need to have face-to-face? How many health histories do you need to do to convert those people? And what are you saying? For me, it never worked for me to say things like, so, how would it look to have in your life to be supported? I'm not a scripted person. I talk to people in the way that I would want to be spoken to. So I would just say to people, so tell me what's going on. Like, why are we chatting today? And so that led to somebody telling me, I made the mistake. Some people may do this, but I made the mistake of doing health histories as intro discovery sessions. It was like giving away the shopping center for free. So instead, what I do now is I have just a 20-minute conversation on what it would look like. I listen to somebody, and then I'm saying, okay, well, I just heard like this, and this. Let me tell you how I can help you. And that's what I always did. I did those health histories in the beginning. I gave away so much for free. And I found that it wasn't really effective. And when I really listened to people's problems, really told them how I could be of service, I either converted them right there, or they came back to me later because I wasn't pushy. I had one person once in my experience, I was going to hire this person for a business coach many, many, many years ago. And I didn't have the money to do it. I saved up really for the business coaches that I wanted. And she was one I was looking at, and she said, why don't you go and, speak with your husband to see if this would be a good decision. And it offended me so much. Not that you shouldn't speak with your partner and decide that, but it's like, she didn't need to say that to me. I was like, speak with my partner. If I want to make a decision for self, I'm going to say, honey, are you down with me? I'm supported. But I don't speak to people in that way. Conversion, I believe, is really about having somebody, excuse me, to take a drink, having somebody fall in love with you, and also being able to say, which was so nice that I had an arsenal of programs in my back pocket, being able to say, I don't prescribe to this one dogma of eating. I help people to figure out like what is their blueprint, how to de-stress in this really crazy world, and to teach you the very things I do in my own life. And so I found that was a great conversion. And Jen, if I didn't answer that properly or detailed enough, please let me know, and I will come back to that. So Wayne is saying you didn't get the replay from yesterday. It may have gone to spam. We did send it out, so definitely let me know. But you can shoot me an email right here. You can shoot me an email at team@rachelswellness.com, and also add Rachel Feldman 1@mac.com and Rachel@rachelswellness.com to your contacts, because a lot of people have high firewalls, like Mac has a high firewall. And so it will junk a lot of things, especially if it says like replay. So definitely let me know, Wayne, and I will make sure that you get that for sure. Cheryl said, you told us that you've done raw food. Would you ever develop a program? Cheryl, you are reading my mind. I, yes, want to develop a program that is just totally raw food. And also what I found, especially when I've taught at different institutes that are all raw food, is that so many people don't know how to implement raw food without getting that massive bloating. Even when I graduated from the International School of Detoxification, and that is very different from like the Gerson method, which would be all vegetables, Dr. Morse. who his interview, if you buy Rockstar, his interview, I actually sat there and cried for 30 minutes after, which is what it's like to be in front of him live, because he's such a profound person when he speaks, and he speaks so much from soul that it's amazing. But he really believes in cleansing the body through fruit. He believes when the liver is really healthy and the pancreas is really healthy and the lymphatic system is cleansed, you're not going to have high sugars. And ironically, even when I went to school, was like, I do not believe this. But what is crazy is, as I started cleaning out my body and in that fashion, I can now drink 30 ounces of freshly squeezed orange juice and not have my sugar spike at all, which is unbelievable coming from a person who is hypoglycemic and then had high sugars. But if you are looking at like the Gerson method, or you're looking at, other raw food where there's a lot of raw food, even adding cultured vegetables, a lot of people get bloated because they're also so dehydrated on an intracellular level. So I would love to really, write a program that teaches somebody how to ease their way into that lifestyle, and also how to listen to their body when they're cold. A lot of people who eat fully raw, you can see if it's not right for them because they're just kind of like, washed out looking, or they're cold, the circulation's poor. And so you really need to eat raw in a proper way. So yes, and Cheryl, if you will shoot me an email, I just sent everyone my email. If you will shoot me an email and just have that on my to-do program list, it would be a complete honor. But yes, you have been reading my mind. Lisa is saying, and hey, Lisa, thanks for being here. Thanks for being here, all of you. I know it's like Sunday night, and this is always like self-care Sunday. So I'm truly honored and happy that you're here with me. Somebody said, I'm interested in purchasing the Smoothie Challenge program. Do you think this would be a good fit for me? I think I can't afford it without the 20% coupon. The only problem is that Smoothie Challenge, which is on Rachel's Wellness, it's not even on healthcoachbiz.rachelswellness.com, does not have a coupon with it. So what she's talking about is the Smoothie Challenge, and it is amazing. And Lisa, if you want to email us, we do payment plans always. I'm more than happy to figure something out. People know that about me, and I think it's because we kind of were in that really shitty time. We didn't ask our parents for money. We didn't ask anyone for money. We just figured it out. And luckily I, worked my ass off to build a business. I know that I had to build my list, and that's what I always have done. I have multiple opt-in freebies always going. I took handouts from Revitalize, Drink Me Skinny. I repurposed 4 times and built my list. Once it was like 120, once it was like 330. And I forget the other 2 times, but I've always just taken handouts even. I've done videos. So there are so many things that you can build your list, but if you do need a payment plan for that, I will figure it out. The one thing that I also even want to talk about with smoothie challenges or opt-in freebies, is this really is the lifeline to that gateway program or to work with you. You may never want to have an online business, and so if you are thinking about launching like in the next 4 to 6 weeks or 3 weeks, that means you have to be using your phone to drip out information, to take little videos of yourself like shopping for food. People need to be like, oh, what is she or he doing? This looks so rad and awesome. So that when you come out and you say, I've got this program, people aren't like confused. That's the biggest thing with marketing, is that we get into buying a program. I've seen coaches who buy multiple programs, not just mine, but every other program out there, and then they don't use it. Why? Because we don't own it. Meaning we don't step into our program. So stepping into your program means like, make the smoothie, take a selfie, be like, oh my God, I'm working on these recipes. Hey, And that's the same with your list building. Like, please don't just say download this guide. And yes, I do have a few of those for Twitter, because Twitter is 150 characters. But if you're promoting on Facebook, let's be real, it's more tantalizing to say, oh my God, I am hosting of course, we're using hashtag SEO, a free challenge. Oops, if I could spell, I always say this. Challenge. You get access to, and then put in some emoji signs, like some cool things, but let's just do some this. Private and exclusive forum. Like X amount of smoothie recipes, 3 days of clean eating suggested meals. You could say like access to me 24/7. And then maybe you want to bonus it. So whether you're doing a challenge or an opt-in freebie, you know, get people excited, and you say like, who is in, you know, like excited, then insert link right there. And you can bit.ly this link, bit.ly.com, allows you to, not Butly, bit.ly.com allows you to shorten that link so that if you want to customize it. But, you know, that is a great thing to do. You want to build your list. You have to. That's why Rockstar, that's why all the programs, Rockstar, Paleo, and Revitalize all have opt-in freebies. The basic program, which comes in Rockstar, is just basic. You're not getting those business builders. The same thing as Easy Weight Loss, which is totally different program than the weight loss program in Revitalize. And the reason that I created a weight loss program in Revitalize is there are some grains in Revitalize in the 28-day program. And a lot of coaches were saying to me, I'm having clients that are not necessarily losing weight. And I thought, this is just like my mother-in-law and just like a lot of clients I see, which is why a lot of my clients would go grain-free anyway, because they weren't metabolizing those sugars. Bottom line, I'm not a nurse. I'm not, you know, a doctor. I'm not a nutritionist. Like, it's just, you're not metabolizing the sugars. I mean, it's pretty clear. And so I added that weight loss program there. The Easy Weight Loss is a totally different program, totally different content and recipes. So anyway, I hope that explains that. Jen's saying, I have a great conversion rate from the conversation, but how can I get more of them? One is, if you're doing an online program, include a 30-minute session. So if you're saying, you know, hey guys, I'm doing this like awesome weight loss program, or maybe your niche is grain-free, or maybe it's to host like a spring cleanse, you know, Holly Thompson does one, clearly JJ Virgin, Mark Hyman, I mean, Lisa Consiglio, everyone does a cleanse. It doesn't mean that you're everyone. This is what I want to say. You're different from everyone because of your story and your experience. So don't get scared when you hear everyone does one, because there's enough people in the world who are going to be attracted to your brilliant marketing because it comes from soul. So when you build that business, you're not worried about how's this going to sound. It comes from soul, and that's what marketing is. That's pretty much it. Yes, copy. Good copy is helpful. But again, that's why speaking from soul is so important. So I do think when you offer a 30-minute bonus session on any program, you're getting those people on the phone. You're converting those. Many of the coaches who have bought the programs, who have followed that simple plan, convert those people. So if you think, okay, half an hour or 20 minutes of my time for people who sign up, even if there's 50 people, or maybe not every 50, or maybe there's 75 people, but not everyone makes an appointment, then you're going to have a good conversion rate. And so whether you're Skyping with them or you do Zoom or you're meeting face to face, you're going to open yourself up to the masses, and you're going to not just be in your local backyard, but you're going to be worldwide, which is exactly how it happens. Somebody said, tried to buy the smoothie challenge along with paleo, but the coupon code did not work for both. One coupon code, one person, one program. So it's just one. I apologize. And the coupon code is not applicable to the smoothie challenge. Love the smoothie challenge. I put that out just because so many coaches need a challenge. I think people love challenges. So even if you want to make your smoothie challenge different, throw in an extra opt-in freebie, like throw in the juice cleanse, throw in your top favorite ways to, kick a sugar habit. I don't know what person isn't dealing with that. Really think about, like, what are people dealing with? Like, if I look over at my books, and Uriel Kama interviewed at one time, like, he's got a book, Eating for Energy. Who doesn't want more energy? Who doesn't want to learn how to reduce wrinkles on their face? All of those things. And think about also what works for you. Bonus, something to make it different of what works for you. So yes, if you have to, only buy one or if you can only buy like the smoothie challenge and you want to get a program later, the only thing is the 20%, the code, if you were on the original webinar, you got that VIP access code, that ends tonight at 12 a.m. Eastern Standard, not PST. Eastern Standard, that code will go away. It will not come back. So if you're on the fence on what program, really think about it. It does not apply to payment plans. We take a big risk with payment plans, but it's so important for me to do them because I do believe every coach needs a chance. And I believe that chances and opportunities happen massively when we are given the right tools and the right support, which is why when you buy a program, you get put into a forum with me. We also have coaching moderators that are starting on Monday. And I think that it's kick-ass, bottom line. So yeah, you can always upgrade later. We're easy with that, not a problem. So yes, I would, Cheryl saying, develop a program for raw food people with bloating. 100%, I will totally be down. And just a quick tip, like think about Ayurvedic, warming spices. But most people who have that bloating, their digestive fire isn't strong. So we want people to have, that vibrant energy that we get from raw foods, those live enzymes and everything, but we've got to go slowly with people. That is at least what I have found. Do I sell bundles of opt-in freebies that aren't part of the package? I do. You can contact us. It is more affordable to often buy a program. That's why we bundle them. But we do have opt-in freebies. We have a lot of coaches who buy opt-in freebies from other programs. I've done this, as I said, for 3 years. 3 years. So this will actually be my 3-year anniversary, which I didn't even realize. And so we have PowerPoints, opt-in freebies, so many different. So if you want to contact us, like I said, at the email, I can totally, walk you through that. And also, I get a lot of emails from coaches like, hey, this is my niche. I'm not saying that I can take every email. I have my clients, but I really do want you to make the best decision for your program. That's why the free forum that I have, let me even just take us to Facebook for a second. That was one of my first coaches, Nisha, who I saved my ducats to work with. This is my free forum for masterminding. Not the forum that you would get put into if you buy the programs. Oops. Hold on. Hit copyright. Not Oh, it's not allowing me to. So right here, as you say, right here, it's called Learn to Hustle, Health Coach Entrepreneurs in Biz. If you go into there, I give, tons of different tips. And I really encourage you to be in there, especially when we do like, specials and stuff like that. God knows what I was saying right before that to give me a break. But to answer your question, yes, send me an email. Like I said, we have so many different opt-ins and PowerPoints that I'm sure we can figure out something. Somebody saying, do a really cool group contest with the smoothie challenge. I mean, this is the thing. The more that you can think of like contests, giveaways. I mean, there are so many people out there that are just doing cookie cutter stuff. That's the bottom line. And to stand out from the crowd, the reason that I know my business has stood out and has grown and evolved and is successful is that I always really sat down and always put myself in the shoes of my client. But the more that you can build that list, like I said, contests, and I think this is a great point, Lisa, contests, giveaways. I've done giveaways for programs. I've even built my list, and this was one of my most successful one. It's a horrible story, so brace yourself. But this moms group that I was working with that I had created actually one of the weight loss programs for that I knew this woman had said, that this man who owned this farm, it was this organic farm. He was going all around the country to support other farmers on how to grow organic farms. And he was like a true change maker. I mean, it was like, even thinking about the story, it just like breaks my heart because it was like a year and a half ago that this happened. And he ended up just like having a heart attack. I mean, he was a young guy. He was like my age. And he left two babies. The mom had like a little one who was 3, and she just had a baby, and left like the whole farm and those 2. And what I did is I was so just moved by it. They were asking at the moms group that I was teaching at, can anyone give donations for clothes, anything? And I was like, I know what I can do. I can take one of my programs, and you could do this even for an opt-in or a freebie or, a challenge. I've taken, 2 of the paleo opt-ins, put them together and created a whole challenge. I've taken actually one of the weeks of paleo and created a whole challenge. So especially if you've bought VIP, like really think about, and I said this actually to a coach client yesterday, I was like, really think outside the box on list building. I said, you know what, I'm going to do a pay it forward. And I said, pay what you can. And that's what I did. I thought about Danielle De La Porte when she did that a long time ago. And I just said, pay what you can. This is all the proceeds are going. And I made thousands and thousands for this family. And people were like paying 100. Some people were paying 200. I mean, it was unbelievable. But I built my list significantly also on that detox because there were people that just were, paying it forward. Some people, of course, only $15 and $25. But you can take any program and also do a pay it forward. Half can go to your favorite charity, which I've done almost year in and year out. I'll take some of the proceeds and give it to a shelter here locally that helps women that come from abuse. And so, think really outside the box. Not only are you paying it forward and karmically that comes back to us, it's a round world. But when you say to people like, I am giving to this charity and here's also my program, it changes the game. You're speaking also to a place of like heart because you are showing, and don't do this, of course, if it doesn't align, but like if it really means something to you, like women who come from abuse, it just, or kids that don't have homes, that kills me. It just kills me. And so for me, that's like such a strong thing. Like I donate everything to this one shelter, from my office, my home, everything. We bring over toys. So that shelter is very important for me. I've even taught to those kids when my kids' Montessori school paired with that shelter. And so if there's something profound like that, think about your programs and what you can do, because that's how also you get to be known. And it's not even being about a good person. It's people just start to understand who you are. That's why people buy from you. So if you can do a contest, or give away something, or even do a contest and say, the 50th person that signs up, they get a session with me. The 100th person that signs up, get a session with me. Really be creative. It can be really, really powerful, but also really, fun when you can step back from your programs, and think about how to market yourself and position yourself in a different way from other people. It's not just about selling fucking goji berries. Like, I mean, let's be honest, where people are way past that. This is about changing and transforming lives. Not that goji berries aren't powerful and wonderful and taste great and delicious, especially with dark chocolate, but this is about changing lives and also building our brand at the same time. All right, a little of a rant. I'm pretty sure about my plan. The problem is I'm hosting a free sugar challenge. I'm wondering if this is too long for a sugar challenge. If you can just tell me what you're saying is too long, Tatiana, then I can circle back. I started this part of getting Rockstar. How do you recommend I convert the participants? So if you have an existing challenge or you're thinking about doing a challenge, oh my God, holla, this is awesome, because this is your opportunity to go in there, shoot a video from QuickTime or your phone and be like, hey guys, I have this awesome, amazing program. This changed my life. I want your life to change. This is what I want. Sorry, I'm hitting. I hope that doesn't annoy you. I just get excited. So say, I've got this opportunity, here this is for, the next 5 days or the next 7 days, I'm doing this wicked awesome price. And of course, this is just my language. Wicked awesome price. This is what it's going to be. And, if you have any interest, I'm even doing, 15-minute, 20-minute strategy sessions if you want to know if this program is right for you. I always think about this. If you can get somebody on the phone, if you can communicate with them, if you can build what I call that trust factor, somebody's going to say, oh my God, I've got to work with this person. They're really, they're so real. Whenever I've gotten people on the phone, they're like, wow, you're just so real. I talked to somebody else and they were telling me to do this and do that and, telling me not to do this. I'm like, that's just not how I operate. So, find what your mojo is, get excited and move them from that challenge by closing it up, sending, not only doing a class, I would even do a live class for everyone in that challenge, get them on a webinar or a teleclass, but if you can get them on a webinar or Google Hangout, talk about the benefits of moving into this program, boom, you've got Rockstar, you've got PowerPoints in there, you know what you want to give them, bonus that baby up and get them into that program. So you can also keep them in that challenge. So say your program's not going to launch for 3 weeks. You can even say, hey guys, I'm giving you VIP access special because you invested in me already and your time, and I'm so excited. This is your special price. So you can even give them a coupon code just for them. So just everyone who signed up for the webinar, that was a special coupon code because you took out the time to say, I'm going to open Rachel's emails or I'm not going to unsubscribe or whatever, and I'm going to take advantage of this coupon code. But we can also bonus with really cool things. You can bonus with your time. Again, I've taken, in my business, I've built my business by saying, I'm going to take an all Saturday and do 15-minute strategy sessions. Boom, 10 strategy sessions. You're going to convert them. So think about that with your challenge as well. But I would really do the webinar for them, make them feel special, because that is coming from your heart. I got a coach emailed me today and she was like, Rachel, there aren't very few coaches like yourself who are selling programs, who are actively in a forum answering every question. And I was like, really? I mean, I've never, like I said, I bought one program, and it told me I had to keep the copyright on, and pretty much it has sat there and done nothing because there's nothing I can do with it. For me, it was about building brand. It was about having something, buy it, build it, brand it, go for it, build your business, the business you deserve, not to push my name or anybody else's name. So I wouldn't necessarily cut the challenge short. I'd make them feel special because they've trusted in you. They've given their email, give them a webinar, and give them some cool ass free guide, and lead them to success because you have that program that you believe in. Can I talk about my elimination program that I mentioned last night? Which Done For You program is it? Yes, without a doubt. The elimination program is really the cleanse. You have two choices. One is basic, which means not getting the business builders. That means business builders are opt-in freebies, PowerPoints, social media images, social media tweets, what else is in there? I mean, the offline, the offline kit. I mean, there's just the interviews that I did. You're not getting the tutorials on how to build your brand through like Bitly and Buffer, and do MailChimp classes that, Michelle had done, like all these different things. So basic, you can still have basic in your, if somebody comes to you and somebody will come to me in my one-on-one, and I would say, okay, we are going to start clean slate because I don't even know what is going on with your body. And so that always, involved for my clients, like simple steps on how to de-stress. I mean, clearly, have you guys met me? I'm a pretty fiery person. So I attract those kind of fiery, busy, corporate kind of people. I don't get many yoga Zen people. So it's important for me to be able to have a guide to say to my clients, okay, I want you to like food diary for me. I want you to journal. I want you to do these simple steps for your body and your mind. And so the elimination program, really based on like the teachings of Liz Lipsky and like I said, Alejandra Younger, and also what I had gone through was just giving somebody like, we're going to, eat this for this amount of time. And then you're going to add in these other foods and you're going to see how they're affecting you. And so I did that in my one-on-one, and then I would lead them to that next program. Often it was grain-free because most of my clients had digestive issues like me. And so I would lead them, which is why I created the paleo program, or just kind of a simple weight loss that was also grain-free. I did work with a lot of moms who, like I said, birthed, and so they wanted that more family-friendly. And so that's where Revitalize came in. With the kinds of recipes, but I also wanted to have a program that was really based also on like putting yourself first. So Revitalize was like, I thought, what if I took everything I know and put it into one program? And really talked about like primary foods and putting yourself first and all of that. And that was Revitalize. But I would say if you're trying to find one that's family friendly, paleo is awesome. Revitalize is awesome. It would give you, both of them would give you those business builders that you need. And paleo can still be like you're going grain free. So if you wanted to add in grains, see how you do then after that. You want to add in beans, see how you do. You want to add in dairy, see how you do. You want to add in cheese. Never suggest anybody adding in cheese, maybe except for like goat cheese or something like that. But to mucus producing, but you could use that as your stable base, and that is more kid friendly, meaning that you're not going to have somebody. And the clean eating program, which is the basic or Rockstar, those are meals that are applicable to a lot of families. But I think when you're thinking family friendly, I more think paleo or Revitalize. And very easy, even in Revitalize, they're like protein pancakes, like just, there are like gluten-free pancakes. There's a lot of like really easy, simple meals. And it's also vegetarian or omnivore. Okay. Smoothie challenge is at Rachel's Wellness, which is right here at shop. I know it's not part of the Done For You programs. So if you go to shop, you will see the smoothie challenge. It's a lot of fun. Can you clarify the differences with the paleo programs and the support? 100%. Everyone who buys a detox, they're put into one forum, which is seasonal. That forum closes at the end of the season. We typically go a few weeks out past the next launch, so that people can, collect notes, pull everything, download, files, pictures, everything. But the programs, when you buy paleo or easy weight loss or smoothie challenge or revitalize, get put into a forum that forum always continues to go. I would say that there is a lot of activity in the detox forum because we're launching fast, in the sense that everyone has a deadline because we're launching seasonally. So there's a lot of activity in there. The other forums have a lot of activity as well. It's just different. I have found that the detox needs to be separated. The support is still the same no matter what. If I don't answer a question, somebody who has been there with me for many seasons will answer, and that's also why I'm bringing in 3 coach moderators as well at different times of the day. But you will see me in there, and everyone knows, between 5 to 6 o'clock in the morning, answering every question. And you'll see me also pop in the day. You'll see me also pop in the night. I don't just leave people hanging. If I don't answer something correctly or clearly enough, or maybe the question wasn't asked and I don't understand it fully, I will be re-tagged and I will re-answer it. And that's just, I can't give you a program and then you not have the support on how to implement it. So in all the forums, that is how I operate, bottom line. And also even my assistant yesterday, as I was, crashed after a webinar from just, launch, I saw her this morning. She had answered, a bunch of different questions. So there will always be support. And any coach that you ask, if a coach has not been with me, I always see they come into the forum and they're like, wow, not only are you in here giving business tips, I'm also doing day-by-day tips, like how to launch, start to finish. Sometimes I'll shoot videos in there, inspiration, everything. We need all of that to have a successful business, bottom line. Where do I have suggestions for competent virtual assistants? That is, oh my God, I need to write a book on that. It is very hard to find competent people in general. I mean, bottom line, love Tim Ferriss for outsourcing, but it is not as easy as one would think. So I do have virtual assistants that I trust, that I do outsource. I do have copy people that I outsource and trust. And I do have, web people that I outsource and trust. So you can find people on Upwork, but there are definitely virtual assistants that I've worked with that know the programs and that I can, give out as references as well. Upwork, you can find people, but it's a little chancy sometimes. That was Odesk. Fiverr, it's just chancy what you get. So I do have a list of virtual assistants that I either have personally used or that I know the work of. If we purchase the basic program and want to upgrade later, no, I don't have a very price structure. I keep things simple. I'm too complicated up here. And I don't like to do that. So if you want to upgrade later, it's just the same price. We just pay the difference and we upgrade you, and that's it. We've done it a lot. We do it a lot because coaches, just like anybody, I mean, even if I go, it's just even. And you can see this. You can see this when you go to the different programs. But like, for example, if I go into client right here and here's Spring Detox Guide. A lot of people get in and they actually look at the program and they're like, wow, there is a lot of information. And I'll just even show you. I write this all myself. I then give it to an editor. She gives it back to me. I then write. She gives it back to me. I then write. And that is the process for every program that you will ever buy from me. It isn't just, a short amount. Like my job is to educate people. And also, if you're a new coach and you don't know exactly what to be offering, or you don't have that system in place, then this is, I have found, really effective for people, which is why, of course, I sell them. But here, right here, it's like, according to Chinese medicine, the liver is related to anger. This is not just about a physical matter. We know that. If it was just everyone would count points and it would go to MyFitnessPal and everything in life would be grand. I also want, to always have it. So it's like, what's easy? So if your client's traveling, I have a lot of clients who travel, a lot of clients who eat out, a lot of clients who get food made for them. So we have a lot of people who buy basic and then they go, oh my God, I want to have, rock stars because, you get to see this, which is kind of overwhelming when you first see it, but this is actually what you get to see, when you open up Rockstar. And so when you're thinking, what am I going to do for my kickoff and wrap up? Well, it's there for you. People think, what am I going to do for my PowerPoints, for my next webinar? Well, it's there for you. So, that's a big thing for me, is to make sure that, if people want to upgrade because they fall in love with it, upgrade. Your smoothie challenge is 10 days or your challenge. Yeah, 10 days. Like I said, warm them up, give them some love, and then tell them that you're going to do a special webinar just for them and lead them to your program. Get that PowerPoint done, sister. And then tag me in the forum and say, hey, let's talk about this. What are my launch dates? So someone's saying, I'm going to use Revitalize for my work with endurance athletes. I love that. That is so awesome. I've worked with a lot of athletes. Would basic or their 2-week weight loss that came with Revitalize be a better gateway for this niche? Endurance athletes, you can totally use basic. But endurance athletes, as you know, that is like protein in the morning, then you're doing like chia gels or, some kind of smoothie. Then you're doing like, some kind of meal. Then you're doing some kind of like old school smoothie, or you're doing, walnuts with like a banana. It depends to what level of endurance athletes. Some need, that collagen. And then you have dinner. So, and then you're hydrating, big hydration. So I think, and that's such a great niche to work with. I loved working with athletes, and I have one on my site that I worked with, and I took him actually grain-free, and he was so freaked out. He wanted to, he was a competitive hockey player here in Florida, and he was like, I want to beat out all these young guys. He wasn't old. He was like 35. But he was like, I want to beat out all these new guys. And I was like, dude, I have the plan for you. And he was like, what? But his numbers went up. I increased his food, his fat. It was crazy. And this was like before ketogenic and I was talking about this stuff. It just was like that intuitive. I was like, dude, this is what we're going to do. We're going to have so much fun. And he knew what to eat. It was just like taking away some of those carbs that were like making him actually tired. So I think paleo would be a great gateway. I think, Revitalize is also wonderful if you wanted to do the weight loss in there. Just make sure, that you're getting the sweet potatoes. Make sure that you're getting the foods that often endurance athletes need for that sustainability, for the energy. So I would say basic would be great. 2-week weight loss would be fine, as long as, you're adding that extra goodness. And like I said, tag me in the forum and we'll just wrap it out on some things. And the good news is one of our moderators is so excited, so blessed for her. She is a triathlon. She works with people who do like triathlons and stuff like that. So she will be in the Revitalize forum, and she's just going to be a plethora of information. Each of the people that I've picked for the forums are picked for very specific reasons. I got a lot of requests when I put this out for this being kind of an internship. And so the people that I picked are specifically so that they enhance your business, and they can share also with you how they made money. I have one coach I love. She is going to be in the forum. Her name's JJ. She's used the programs in every different way, has made thousands of dollars doing it, found her niche, found her purpose, found her meaning, and is now about to do a retreat in the spring with actually, the detox, but she has used it in every different way, one-on-one, groups, online. So Naomi, tag me in there if you want to think about that next program. I would say either paleo, or you could have the basic cleanse. You just would have to make sure that you are supplementing what those athletes need for that. And if you have any questions, because I know we're at like 8 and that 20% coupon, unless you just bought Revitalize and this is just an extra add-on, then you can always email and either tag in the forum or shoot me an email. All right. A sugar challenge. Marcy, that's a great question. So I always say if you have VIP, or if you want to just, buy like the weight loss, or you want to buy the detox, I took a week of that and did a challenge. I also took the paleo and took a week of that and just did a de-sugar challenge. So then what you do is you take that challenge, and this is where the multiple programs come into play. You take that program and then you lead them to that signature program. And maybe that signature program is going to be like 6 weeks, or it's going to be longer. It's going to be, 45 days or 2 months. And you could even do membership. I mean, this is about building your list, guys. Build your list, because that is what has worked for me. I mean, I built my list from day one. And I had shitty list builders. These are nice ones in the programs, but I had shitty list builders. But it is so important. And, message it correctly. Someone's saying, if I do a 15 or 20-minute strategy, is it hard to keep people at that amount of time? Do you go longer? I go longer if I feel like I need to. I always block out 30 minutes, but if we're not going to, if I'm selling a large high-end program, yes, you are going to do longer strategy sessions. But if somebody's trying to figure out if you're a good fit, you pretty much know that at about 20 minutes. I leave 30 minutes for that. But in an hour, you're pretty much giving the shopping center away for free. Does everyone agree? I mean, you've talked beyond talking. You've gotten down all the information. You've replied back on how you qualify yourself to be with them. Anything beyond that, I feel like you're working for free. Correct? What are some of your favorite ways to use the paleo program and the essential oil builder? I think the paleo program is great online or offline. I think when you're doing the essential oil builder and you're adding on and you're thinking about, accentuating, one, you could bring the oils into that program. You can bonus out, the opt-ins in the essential oil builder. Also encourage you to watch the master class that I created in there. It shows you how to create an essential oil education page. So if you wanted to create that with all of the opt-in freebies, the oil revolution guide, the recipe guide in there, the difference between the add-on is they actually get the detox with it, with all different information as well, and it's even different from the guide and the detox. But I would say approach CrossFit gyms, do it online or do it face-to-face, or I love even to do that one-on-one. But again, your programs, this comes down to your marketing, guys. You have to market. You have to market properly for people to be able to know that you are the person to go to. So this is the smoothie challenge. Somebody's asking that they missed right here. Okay. Which program is the spring detox? So the program, let me just go here. Bear with me 1 second. Okay, so the spring detox. It's not letting me drop down. Hold on. There we go. Okay, so basic and rockstar is right here. This would be the spring detox. Give me a second. You have two options. You have basic, which is just the basic program without the business builders. And then you have Rockstar, which I believe really is your marketing machine. And again, one coupon, one program, really, make the decision, especially if you're thinking about coupon, because we won't prorate that coupon later. Weight loss program is in the Revitalize is 14 days. The Easy Weight Loss Program is a 7-day simple program, but what I've done is I've actually repeated that to be, a 7-day, a 14-day. The guide is expansive, so you could really work with somebody, 14 days over that, or turn that into a longer program with classes. I mean, there's so many things that you can do with programs. Who is in the paleo forum? I'm in the paleo. Well, it's not a paleo forum by itself. I'm in the forum. There are 2 other coaches that are going to be in the forum. There are moderating. And so I'm in there all the time. Rockstar seems like a good start for health coaches. I think Rockstar is an amazing start for anybody, to be honest. I think it's an easy program to follow. I think Paleo Supercharged is an easy program to follow as well. But for a lot of people who are dealing with people who, want weight loss, that's an easy thing for people to be able to attach onto. So with that being said, guys, we are going to wrap this up. I am giving away a Kindle Fire, bottom line. So this is your opportunity to go to Rachel's Wellness. I will just actually show you. Oh, I'll do beauty counter. Okay, so if you go right here to Rachel's Wellness, somebody's already in the forum asking if I'm doing a summer detox. If you go to Rachel's Wellness, you will see right here. And see, Brett's right there already. So you want to share this. I've seen a few coaches, and I'll just even show you. See, Brett shared. I also see a few coaches right here who already shared. They also shared like in a few other forums, and then tell me why you are meant to get this. Actually, this is when I interviewed Dr. Morris. So again, go to Rachel's Wellness, share it on your personal page, share it on your business page. There is very clear directions what to do. Tag me because I want to see the love. Dig deep. I want to know why you want to win this. And also tonight is the end of the VIP code. So if you got that VIP code in your email when we launched, go back to that. If you have questions tonight, I will be near my computer, can ask away. It is all good. I am, most people know that they can get me. And that is it. So we are going to wrap this up, guys. Listen, peace, but a lot of hustle. Om Shanti, but hustle, because your business deserves it and you deserve to play big. And playing big doesn't just mean buying another course, buying another program. Playing big means buying it and owning it, getting your launch plan together, your dates, what you're going to do, how to speak to your niche. And you may not even know your niche, which is why we do, we mastermind our niche in there and we figure out, what actually works for us, what doesn't work for us. You'll see coaches, Crystal Gordon, who's one of the coaches that I interviewed, who her testimonial was unbelievable. She was like, wow, I've changed so much through the seasons with these programs and that forum, because you can go in there and even if it's not related to a program, you can be like, what do you think of this logo? That's the whole point, to have a mastermind of success for people that are like you. And that's what you want to be around. And that's how massive success happens in your life. It's to be around like fired up entrepreneurs, health coaches like yourself who want to play big, get their message out in a completely different way, so that you can make it happen. All right, guys, we are rocking and rolling. I will see you later. I'm going to go kiss my kids and my hubby. And I will send out this replay as soon as possible. I will see you in the forum. All right. Think about what applies to you, what program, and also stay tuned. If you're not getting our emails for some reason, add me to the list, because I'm going to be rocking out a series of webinars with all these other giveaways and stuff like that, so that I can make it simple and easy for you to get exactly what you need. All right, guys, have a great one. I will talk to you soon.